ending slightly better than expected? Or has it changed a very beloved technique for the worse? Yes, Dragon Ball Super Chapter 99 just dropped, and many people are just going, okay, when are we going to get to the fireworks factory that is something new? Well, I can assure you folks that according to news, there will be a color cover for Chapter 100, which usually, in the world of Japanese manga, means something big is coming. We got it for Chapter 88 with that high school awkward teenage Trunks and Goten thing, which turned out okay, and by comparison of the superhero rehash is absolute gold, because it had a frame of Black Freezer in it, and instead, it'll give us some clues as to what to expect for the next arc of Dragon Ball Super, and finally give us something new to look at! Seriously, it's like a graveyard around here, isn't it? But I'm glad that you're still here, and that you like this video to spread it out to as many people as possible. But Chapter 99 itself, Son Gohan's Awakening, I mean, come on, we all know what was going to happen. We're gonna get Gohan Beast, we're gonna get the ending of the Cell Max fight. Orange Piccolo looks like he's about to meet his end, once again, provoking Gohan into going, ah, and then boom, and then a rehash of Super Saiyan 2, but the way that Toriyama sort of envisioned it in a different way, and Ultimate Gohan, I don't know, it's so confusing. But either way, Gohan Beast does show up, because for a long time, I was looking at that manga and thinking, is Toyotaro not going to do Gohan Beast? Because we all know that Toyotaro likes Gohan, but not giving him that? Even though people were glorifying it and the makers of Dragon Ball were really pushing the idea of Gohan Beast, which is just a grey and more extreme version of Super Saiyan 2. But no, he did do it indeed. And give Toyotaro his dues. Krillin wasn't completely useless here. Android 18 came in, and there were some narrative changes that were quite intriguing. And most of all, the idea of Gamma 1 doing things. Now, I can't quite remember what happened in the superhero movie. It's been that long, and the superhero manga has actually been a bit of a detriment to my recollection of the events of that movie. Because now I'm second guessing myself and thinking, did that actually happen, or did I just imagine it? But either way, Gamma 1 here is acting more like a superhero than he did in the movie. I think this is Toyotaro's interpretation of events, that after the sacrifice of his brother Gamma 2, Gamma 1, instead of just standing there going, oh, I'm so stoic, I must avenge my brother, he is actually now being a superhero in memory of his brother. This is something that Toyotaro has done for the better, I think. Gamma 1 applying himself to help with the Dragon team. It's become quite clear that he has to help the good guys here because he wants to be a good guy. He was led astray by the Red Ribbon Army and is now applying himself into destroying one of the creations that was running alongside of him. That was a really good idea, to have that barrier of sorts to protect Orange Piccolo, because of course, we see that Orange Piccolo is doing his best for, go on, charge your thing and then do it now! As a nice little parallel to when Goku was stalling for time as Piccolo charged his also special beam cannon attack. We are sort of left uncertain as to what exactly is going on with Piccolo's lot, but we all know that he's gonna be fine because first of all, we have seen the movie Shueisha, and secondly, this is like the 4th or 5th time that Piccolo has had to sacrifice himself to get Gohan to do something or apply himself or go, Gohan, you're supposed to be fighting here. I know that you don't like fighting, but if you just do this for me, you can go back to collecting butterflies and looking at insects, okay? I mean, come on, you're looking at one right now, just so happens to be 200 feet tall, reminds you of the beast that you took out when you were young and is missing an arm, and it's got some really awkward boots for some reason. And this is something that I find really bizarre, but okay, I'm just gonna roll with it. We're all past that now. We're all accepting that Gohan would rather look at insects, but either way. Cell Max here is, I think, more of a beast in the manga than I saw in the movie. And even then, that's saying something. Toyotaro has something about him. He seems to make Cell Max a little bit more intimidating. I don't know whether it's just the detailed work that he's putting into it and the effort, but points for Toyotaro for putting in some genuine effort here. Because that Tournament of Power arc that he did, man, that was sloppy and rushed. He couldn't wait to be past all of that. That was absolutely crazy. But now, this is a movie that had just come out, and hadn't even really properly come out in Blu-ray or DVD yet when the arc started, when we got that awful chapter 91. But now here, he's doing the business. He's showing that he has practiced, he has learned, he is applying himself better. And you can't really fault the fight between Orange Piccolo and Cell Max here, because the choreography is still very, very nice. I wish that Toyotaro was a little bit more dynamic with the panels and whatnot, but it is improving. It is something that is interesting, and it is quite detailed, and it's still being able to make something interesting out of the whole thing of, Gohan, focus your ki, do what you can. It's the same thing that we've seen over and over and over again. And you think that Gohan would learn by now, hey, you probably need to increase your power by now, mate, and just do the business. So I don't know why Gohan is being this naive or ignorant, but okay. But we all see the transformation. It happens the exact same way as before. We get that little stripe behind and he goes, rah! And then he has that really cool thing. And then, as Carl Bear showed in the dub of the movie, him having so much fun, just going, it's my turn now. Are you done? You could tell that Carl Bear had a lot of fun with that recording session. And admittedly, we saw once again a sort of parallel between the Gohan, Piccolo, and Raditz fight, that once again, Piccolo loses his arm. And I just kind of wanted Cell Max to suddenly speak and go, excuse me, has anyone seen my arm? You can't miss it, it's green. It's just like, there are so many parallels here I'm seeing. This entire sequence is slowly turning into the end of the Cell Saga mixed with the Raditz fight. And it's coming together bizarrely, because Piccolo's the one this time to try and slow down the attacker, whilst Gohan is mana charging his attack. And when we get to that actual attack itself, it's a little bit bizarre because it's left a little bit vague, because Android 18 has the really nice idea of not only helping Piccolo using his stretchy arms, because remember, he can do that, and chopping off the wings. That means Cell Max can't just fly into the air, whilst Cell Max has also got his attack ball and he's about to destroy the planet because, oh, there you go. That's a mixture of Vegeta as well, or Frieza going, yeah, I'm going to destroy the planet. We then see Gohan Beast just doing that. You think it's just going to be special beam cannon and that's the end of that. But no, he then points it up into the air, then screams. He doesn't do the attack name. And you're thinking, well, okay, what's he going to do with that? What are you going to do with that, Gohan? Is he going to just then do some really cool sort of thing and go like, ah, and try and make it look really cool? That's not really Gohan style. I'm probably thinking that he is going to use that special beam cannon adaptation and fire it at Cell's energy blast and then have it explode above Cell Max. So Cell Max being taken out by his own attack. But even then, it just feels really odd. This is a really odd place to end. This is the finisher. This is something I'm really not a fan of, because you think, well, all this has done has just left me with confused feelings and thoughts. Is this going to be the finisher? Is this something that is going to be the thing that almost finishes Cell Max off and then something else comes in because we've got a whole other chapter to complete and wrap things up for this particular arc? But no, this was a really bad ending. Or not the ending itself, but a bad place to end it. A bad place to just call time and say, hey, you gotta wait until next month. And again, with the monthly releases, please, Toyotaro, after all of these years, you think you can at least try and make it fortnightly? Every 2 weeks to keep the hype up. This is getting silly now, because this is a really, really scummy place to really end it, because you've got Gohan doing this. Or was it deliberate? Because I'm really not sure what he's going to do here, and whether or not this is going to end up into something completely different. Is this just going to be the special beam cannon, or is it going to be something else that Gohan has cooked up? When has Gohan had the time to cook up a variation of the special beam cannon? How can you vary the special beam cannon? It's literally just like that and then that. And I don't know. Was this deliberate to cause public debate and all of that stuff? I don't know. But I think some of the narrative changes here up to that particular moment were pretty decent. There were things that were slowly tweaked from the movie as far as I can remember, and it seemed fairly decent. As in, I am kind of enjoying it? Or is it because I know this arc is about to end and I'm just kind of going, yeah, okay, let's just roll things along. Keep going, keep going, keep going. Let's get to the point where we can see Black Frieza. I don't care about any of this, although it actually looks kind of nice. This is where Toyotaro is having a little bit of fun here. And it's slowly becoming more apparent that you can tell when Toyotaro is having fun because it gets really detailed. The choreography really catches up. I think he felt like at the beginning of the arc, when it was wholly Toyotaro's to control, chapters 88 to 90, he was having a good time, having a little bit of a high school environment, a nice change of pace, seeing awkward Trunks and Goten really coming into his own. That little arc is kind of cute, and it really does give some character to Trunks and Goten. And Mai, thankfully, but I don't know what's going to happen with that whole thing, Trunks and Mai having a date. Is that going to wrap up the arc and then we go into the new one? I don't really know. But you can tell that Toyotaro was enjoying that part. And then when you got from chapters 91 to maybe 96 or something, that's when it was just starting to get its most laborious and tedious, that you were feeling that Toyotaro was just sort of just pacing things along and just going, yeah, okay, all right, Krillin versus Car, I don't know, Car wins. That's still one of the lowest points, including Goku giving Moro a sensu bean. There are plenty of highlights here, lowlights of the Dragon Ball Super manga to see, and that was clearly one of them. What do I feel about this chapter in general? Again, I will say, it was a decent chapter. It was not too shabby. The fighting itself was pretty good. And there were some changes here that I did like. The rest of the crew getting more involved, despite the odds being vastly stacked against them. Gotenks hanging around for a little longer, even though it was still not a funny joke. I really wish we got a proper teenage Gotenks. And the idea of Android 18 just literally clipping or slicing off the wings, so that means Cellmax couldn't escape. Gamma 1 doing more stuff. That is great. Instead of just standing there, not doing a lot, maybe doing the occasional pew-pew, but he was doing that and then some, being the hero like his late brother. That was really sweet. But I just really wish that they just ended this particular chapter on the moment when Cellmax was destroyed. Or at least you can clearly see that Gohan is doing the special beam cannon, and then you just see the whited out face of Cellmax taking the blast. Then you know, you're thinking, okay, that's the crux of the matter done. We can all look forward to chapter 100, where we can see everything being wrapped up and the beginning of the next arc going in smoothly, like between Mora and Granola. They were deliberately trying to pace this out because it's becoming quite clear, based on all the rumors that we've seen, all of the leaks, that Shueisha, Dragon Ball, they are stalling for time. The makers of Dragon Ball are holding things back to try and make sure they've got plenty of written and drawn material to then make a potential anime whenever it comes out. We are getting Daima, but that's its whole other thing. And then we're probably going to get an animated series once we've got at least a couple of arcs in the can. Because this Moro arc and the Granola arc, you could probably burn through all of that in maybe a year and a bit or something like that. 30 episodes per arc, so maybe they want to make sure there are at least 3 arcs on the go. Maybe when they're well into this Black Frieza arc or whatever it's going to be, then they'll say that the anime is being made, and then it'll be in production by the time this Black Frieza arc manga thing will be done, which could be in a year or so. But we just have to wait a little bit longer, folks. But chapter 99, it was okay. I just wish the ending was in a different place in the superhero narrative. But let me know what your thoughts were down in the comments, and be sure to like and subscribe. We really need to get this Dragon Ball channel shared out to more people. We need to keep the hype alive, folks, because we have to believe. We have to be like Trunks. We have to hope that things will come our way and we will be very satisfied. Catch you later.